Hello everybody. Let's talk about fuel. Well, gas. Well, everybody's worried about the prices of gas. They're going up like crazy, and I've been asked a number of times, how do I deal with gas prices? Well, the short answer is I don't. I don't put gas in this truck. I put diesel. Now, I could leave it like that, but you know me better. I'm not going to leave it just like that. All right, so how do I deal with diesel? First off, I don't buy it, my boss does. It's up to him where I fuel. He tells me where I can and can't fuel. Now, what he does is he's given me a company, I want to say credit card, but it's not one you've ever heard of. It's specifically for fueling in the trucking industry. And because it's his card, he gets to determine what I can and cannot get with it. He limits it. For example, I can't take it to Walmart and buy a bunch of groceries. It's not authorized there. It's only authorized to be used at truck stops. Now, that doesn't mean I can go into the truck stop and buy a trucking GPS. He's not going to allow that. It's limited to actual purchases of what I can get. He also limits to which truck stops I can and can't go with it. So, it's really, he determines when, or determines where I'm paying for fuel. Now, he makes those decisions based on what kind of discounts he can get, what kind of costs there are, and that stuff. So how do I deal with it? Well, because he limits it, I'm sorry, the dog is going nuts. Because he limits it, I'm limited to what I can do. Now, I've always had a fuel card, and that's what we call it in the industry, is a fuel card. I've always had a fuel card in trucking, with different stipulations. Now, there's different companies that provide them, that the companies sign on to. Now, when I first started to fuel, I had a daily cash limit, a daily number of what I could put in the fuel tank, because they didn't want me fueling up my truck and the guy next to me and having him give me cash for fuel, which was very, very rampant in the industry. I don't know for certain now, because there's so many limits on it, but you used to be able to, not that I ever did it, I heard about it, but yeah, you could fuel up the guy next to you, and especially once people that own their own truck that pay for their own fuel, they would look for company drivers and give them cash so that they would get a discount and the company would end up being screwed on it. So they implemented a dollar amount limit on what you could put into the fuel tanks in a 24-hour period. And if you fueled twice in one day, meaning you started your day at like 2 a.m. and you fueled there, and then you ran it out, went to bed, and got up and started at like 10 p.m. and fueled there, then you wouldn't be, you'd hit that limit. Anywhere from, depending on fuel prices, it's been from $500 up to $1,000. Now, with fuel prices, with diesel prices right now getting close to $6 a gallon, I have 75. I put 75 gallons in each tank when I fuel up. It's 150 gallons, and then I also have the reefer in the back, which, if you do the math on that, it's $6 a gallon. That's $1,200, which is well over that $1,000 limit, and that's just with one fuel. And I can fuel multiple times. Well, I could fuel twice a day. I don't think I've ever done 3 times a day, but I could fuel up to twice a day. Now, so when the prices started to get up, I had to call. I said, okay, what's the limits on fuel? And I found out that they had switched it to gallons instead of dollars. So, how it's affecting me, I have to make sure that I have enough gallons to get by each day so I don't go over my limit. But other than that, I'm not paying for it. The boss tells me where to fuel, so that's where I fuel. Oh, and I want to give a shout out. I have a teacher that I've been corresponding to at the elementary school at home. This question actually came from the students on how fuel is affecting trucking, and it was such a good question, I decided I needed to do a video on it. And apparently, the new dog, Griffin, wants to get in on the action too. So, look forward to any more questions that I can touch base with you on, and I will keep up with you guys later. All right, later. Bye.